yeah, and so part of my job, um, part of my job is really dedicated to evangelize part of the companies in order to identify how they can grow through a better product experience in
Yeah.
order to satisfy the final customer with the product. The customer experience was really
Okay.
important.
Okay. Well, it sounds great. Sounds great. And I have a friend here in Florida that do maybe equate to same of you. So maybe I could put together to just to talk.
And you know what?
There are different companies, and there's many in the world. But
Yeah,
thank you so
and
much for everybody. Thank you so much. Even you see this interview in the night, in the morning, or in the midtime. I'm very, very happy. I'm Rodolfo Bello. I'm dream facilitator. And right now I'm very, very, very happy because I flew to France. I'm in France with my friend Thibault. Thibault, I met Thibault many years ago. I don't say how many, but many
it's
years ago.
13.
30, yeah. Because I was teaching in a Monterey Tech, in Monterey, a very special class. And Thibault arrived to that class as a exchange student from France. So we met there, and we start a friendship, a very good friendship. Right now, using the networking, using LinkedIn, we see it again and ask people if we could have this interview. So I'm very, very happy to having today here, Thibault. Thank you so much for giving me this time and the opportunity to interview you.
You're welcome.
You
It's a
look
pleasure.
great. You really look great, Thibault. Let me start with the first question. You are from France. Which city
Yeah,
in France? And you study your bachelor in commerce in the College Superior of France. It's correct? It's
in Tours. It was in Tours,
in Tours.
part of the Loire Valley part of France. Very nice part of France with all the castles. So you have
Yes.
to come to visit this part of France.
Well, in my honeymoon, I was in France, but I was in Annecy, Salange, in the south part of France. Very, very, very nice. It's beautiful France. I was in Paris also in my honeymoon. Everybody goes to Paris, or everybody who get France go to Paris. But
There's
the
plenty of
whole country
areas.
is great. The
Yeah,
whole country is
yeah.
great. Uh, Thibault, what you decide when you was a study your bachelor, you have the opportunity to get an exchange program, study in another country. But why you decide to study in Monterrey, in Mexico? Because you will have many opportunities in many places. Uh, you speak very well English, so you could be in USA, or you could be in England, or even in Australia. Why you decide Mexico?
It was part of a game in the business school, as we had to pass different tests, and regarding the results you had, you will able to choose a country where you want to go abroad. So with the results I got, I had the ability to go far from Europe, and there were the opportunity and the partnership between my business school and the Tech de Monterrey. And so I decided to go in Mexico. But to be honest, this choice was also motivated because my other brother went to Mexico when I was a kid, and I wanted to discover this country by my own. So it's part of
Okay.
the story.
Okay, wow. And let me now ask you, 30 years later, how was your experience in Mexico?
It was really awesome.
You make a
Yeah,
big, big, big. Whoa. Why?
no, honestly, I felt in love with this country. People, food, different of culture, all the tourism I can do during these 6 months to visit all the different part of Mexico. It was so great in order to enrich myself of different cultures, of different way of living, and to understand that somewhere in the world the people are not living the same path than you, and you have to understand how the things are going on in order to be well adapted I met a lot of people there for different countries, for uh, European countries for sure. They were in the same way than me in an exchange, but also a lot of Mexican people. I still have some friends I've met during these 6 months, and one of them is living also in Nantes, in
Mm,
France. So
mm.
so that's super interesting to keep in touch with people from somewhere else in the world. Little
You,
small world.
you, you was in Monterrey, that is in the north part of Mexico,
Yeah,
but you have the opportunity to visit some beaches or another places because
for
I
sure.
remember they made tours, not?
Yes, for sure. And it was really exciting to discover all the Yucatan with the temples, with the all the story of Mexico and the Maya story with really far from today.
Yes.
Uh, for sure, the beautiful countrysides. We don't have the same sea than you in France, so we don't have the same weather, and it was so awesome. And I visited also Teotihuacan. I visited Baja California. I visited a lot of things, and it
Wow,
was just super great to.
you know more Mexico than me, man. Well,
Not sure
that
of that.
that group was a great group. We have students from from Norway, from Sweden, from
Germany.
France, from Germany. It was a great group. For me, also was a great experience. I don't know what happened, but that group was special, a very special group, very entrepreneurs, everybody very entrepreneurs, and the Mexican that was in that group, they also traveled to the next semester, next grades to other places. Some, as you say, go to France and now live in France. No, so
Yeah.
it's great. Now let's talk a little bit about your experience, your professional experience. You start in France with perfumes, no?
Yeah.
But your main experience start uh, in sales or an organization in human resource. What was the first company would you get involved?
Yeah, I worked for Kenzo Perfume, but it was just a little work, like an internship when during the high school. My first job was in software, and it was a company named SDWorks, HR software. And it was really my first job dedicated more to marketing, field marketing tasks, and also a little sales tasks. So I identify and it was the first time I was facing the difficulties to sell something, to identify someone, to identify the right people in the company, and to sell something. And it's this tough part of the job of those guys who give me the wish to continue in this sales uh, path, because I'm still a sales guy and I really love the fact to be a sales guy, in order to discuss with new people, to identify their pains, to identify their needs, and give them an answer. So it's really the things that give me the motivation to work on the sales
Okay,
process.
okay.
And
So
and for the little uh, when you contact me, there is something interesting because we receive an inbound request related to CIMEX in Mexico. CIMEX,
okay,
the cemetery company. And
yes.
I remember that 17 years ago, you gave us an exercise to work on CIMEX company tasks, and I remember that, and you contact me the same time, so it was really funny to see that.
Wow, it's some coincidence. Cemex or Cemex, which is the biggest, maybe the two or the three biggest cement um, cement
Manufacturer,
industry
producer.
company in the whole world, is very important. In Monterrey is so important, Cemex. So all the international students not to know uh, uh, our brewery, FEMSA, and also CEMEX. But you say something very important, Thibault, and I want to take again. You study your bachelor in marketing, but marketing is not just publicity or promote. Marketing is also sale. And you say to find the right people and to solve their pain. solve that thing they need. When we sell because we solve something. If we could solve something to anyone, we could sell. We don't sell just because we promote. Promote is part of the marketing, but we sell. People engage with us when we solve something. And that is a very easy, but also very difficult thing to learn. And you learn through the time, because you was in different companies. You also was in Sodexo. Sodexo is a very, very nice and great food organization. Also, you was, I see your curriculum, and you was in very, very different companies. In any companies, sale to consumer is one technique, but business to business is another technique. So tell me a little bit about your experience during these processes of get a senior in sales.
Yeah, of course, and you underline the right thing, that a salesman, sales lady cannot sell the same thing if you are selling a fork, a knife, or if you are selling cement or softwares, as I do today. And the part of the game is to know your prospect,
okay,
to take the time to identify who is the right people, what are his pains in the daily basis, what are the problems the company, the prospect is working for, are facing. And you have to show a part of empathy in order to put yourself in the shoes of your prospect.
Okay.
So when you are selling in B2B, I sell things in B2B since more than 10 years, and in software part since 8 years now. And it's really important to show to your prospect how you are persuaded, yes, you are convinced by his problems, and I want to be part of my prospect's pains and problems. I want to solve my prospect pains with the software I sell to him. So it's really this part. And to identify the right people, I'm really a fan and a big user of LinkedIn, for sure, because it allows you to contact people, to reach the right guys, to create a community of people, and you want to share some messages with them. So it's a daily part of my job today, and I really like that, and I don't want to change.
So you could tell me that the LinkedIn, the social network, is also helped you to find the right people, and it's not
just a recruiting part. It's not a recruiting tool.
Yes. Yeah. And it's also Thibault, because we let me tell you something, and you please tell me if you are agree with me or disagree. In the social network, we share with the people how we live and how we love and how we pain, and the things that we do, the things that we care, the things that we need in the social network. But some social network, like Twitter or Instagrams, are more to get fun. But LinkedIn is more to work.
For sure, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And something I dislike since maybe 3-4 years, that a lot of people take LinkedIn as a new Facebook. And it's not the same game.
No, it's not
the same objective. So be careful of what you're doing with LinkedIn.
Yes. Also, I saw, for example, I sometimes I post something in Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, and just to see the reaction. And people in LinkedIn like to read and to get information that when I could obtain or gain values, new values, to learn something, not just to get fun. If you use LinkedIn to get fun, the people don't, the social network doesn't take you, how could I say it, as a good partner, or a good part of the community. So if you use LinkedIn to work, it's great. But if you use LinkedIn to get fun, it's not get fun in other social networks.
Yeah, exactly.
No?
I agree with you.
Okay, but also, do you think your experience outside France, in Mexico, for example, or in other places, gain to you or give to you an open mind to get a better partner of your sales procedures?
Exactly, and that's a very good point. Of course, the way of when you have 18, 20 years old, and you leave your home, you leave your family, you leave your country in order to discover a new region of the world, it makes you change your view of the people. So you have to break the frontiers, break the barriers
Yes.
existing between the people, between the different cultures, and you have to accept the way of the other guys, the other people lives, and to respect that. It's all part of respect. When you respect someone else, and this person identify that you respect him or her, um, the game is done.
Yes, I agree
And
with you.
so, and today it's also a part of my job to identify and to not be uh, blocked by an answer, a negative answer. When I try to reach someone, I took some, no, it's not the right time, no, I'm not interested, no, it's the part of the game. It's part of the sales, and but it's okay, and you don't have to be desperate of that. You have to continue to show that, yeah, you can bring something good to someone else, and it's something that I lived, and Mexico bring me something good that allows me to be what I am today.
Yeah.
Really
Wow.
simple.
It sounds great. All this paragraph that you say, because we are our experience. We now are better because our experience, not just the things we think or the things we do. It's also the experience. You are more citizens of the world than just citizens of brand. No, right now you are selling software. Which
Yep.
are your biggest clients? Is in Europe or also in Latin America or also in Asia? You sales B2B, that means business to business. So you
Yeah,
need to get the right company and the right people that make decision in the company to get that deal. So
exactly. It, it's an interesting thing. So I'm selling a PXM, product experience management software, for a
okay,
company named Akinio. We are a global leader today of the PIM solutions all over the world, but I'm just in charge of the French area
okay,
for
okay,
enterprises. But there is a lot of French companies who are selling all over the world.
yes,
So sometimes, and one of my customers, I cannot mention it, but is creating pet food. It's a
okay,
French company who is doing pet food, and they are selling in B2B, but also in D2C all over the world. And the
okay,
thing is that you have to identify the people in Brazil, in Indonesia, in France, who can handle the system, the software I'm selling
mm-hmm.
to them. So it's interesting also to well understand the culture of the people you are discussing with, not cross the red lines with them, respect the culture and the way of
Yes,
their
yes,
maybe buying softwares. So today it's one of the biggest deal I lived in the company I'm in today. But it was really a very nice experience in order to sell something in a French company, but with people all over the world.
yes.
And
It sounds
the visuals, the video discussions allows that to meet someone who can be thousands of kilometers from you. So super
yes.
nice.
Yes, the other day I was talking with my wife that when we was young, 20 years ago, when we was 20 years, 23, 23, we imagine to have a phone that we could see in the phone in a phone call. Right now, it's part of the day by day.
Yeah.
right now, today, you are in France and in Mexico, and we are talking like to be together. And it's so the world is smallest, but 30 years later. So let me ask you the last question for the time, because I know you have another thing to do. If you could get back in time to that Thibault when was in Mexico and was study in Mexico with people from Mexico and from all over the world, and just travel to Mexico, and you could give to yourself, a good advisor to your life, and that advisor could put it in the sky to everybody saw about the things that you are learning during this process. What kind of advisor that you give to yourself when you was 20 years?
That's nice question. Maybe I need some time to think about it, but maybe more open-mindedness.
Okay, wow. It's wow. Be more open-minded and travel to the world. Give us open-minded, and we could travel to the world using Zoom
in a different
or
way.
using
Of course.
just social network. No.
Yes, exactly, and not close to earlier the discussions with people, because someone you don't know can give you good advices, and it can be part of your life maybe 10 years after. So
it's great to hear you from your voice, Thibault, and I really like to could meet you again, to could be with you again. You are talking, and I was thinking, for example, the new First Minister of England, which is
Indian.
Yes, Indian people, and the people that know in England or UK, we know that the Indians many years was living in UK. So right now, to see the picture with the new King Carlos and the new First Minister with us Indian together, blows my mind. It's unbelievable. But as you say, open your mind.
Yes, exactly. Open the mind, because it's really rich.
Thank you so much, Thibault. Thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Rodolfo. My pleasure.
Let me give you a big hug from Mexico to France, and I will hope still together talking. Thank you so much.
For sure. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye, Rodolfo. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Thibault.